Hello my friends, this is the first of what might be many little sneaky peeks into XLRP2. You guys have been on my case to show off something, but a great deal of the mod is not quite ready yet. However, we do have the weapon design in place, so I thought I would show you guys the weapon design, and this is the thing that I actually did, so I've got to show off the thing that I did first, right? The philosophy behind the XLRP weapon design is one of hardpoints didn't exist in tabletop. So they're a new thing, and they have value. So in the tabletop, of course, you would just fill your mech with LRM5s or medium lasers or something along those lines if you had custom mechs, because you had no hard points, and those were the most weight slash heat slash damage efficient weapons. The LRM5 especially was pretty ridiculous because it was only 2 tons. But hard points were put in as a means to limit boating. But what they also did was they actually weakened a lot of the smaller choices, meaning that you get some strange situations where a mech with 1 missile hard point but 10 or 11 free tons becomes a better missile boat than, say, a Kintaro, because the Kintaro, although having many missile hard points, doesn't have the tonnage to really take advantage of them. Well, that has changed, and I just want to take you guys on a journey through some of the weapon design and some of the mech building philosophy that we'll be using in XLRP2 that's really going to make it quite different. So, we're off to the mech bay. The game currently is playable, but most of the mechs have not been designed yet, so you would just be fighting the default mechs, and a lot of them have got free tonnage. Which, why they have free tonnage? Well, that is going to make sense to you very, very shortly. Okay. So, obviously we have lots of mechs in XLRP2. Well, here's a Kintaro I prepared earlier. So, as we know, the Kintaro often loses out to something like, say, a Centurion, because it just doesn't have enough free tonnage to mount a comprehensively large amount of missiles compared to, say, well, the Cent has like 1 missile hardpoint, but it can mount an LRM-20 very easily, whereas obviously the Kintaro here has got, this particular version has got 4 missile hardpoints, but it has no it wouldn't have the tonnage typically to run an LRM-20 and still be efficient. So, what we've done differently here is, but note the missing item here is actually the cockpit, but the cockpit balance is not done yet, so just don't worry about that. So what we've done with the weapons is, we've got things like our ER medium lasers here, which are actually 1.25 tons now. So there is a change there, and they also do 1 heat. Most lasers actually now have a small amount of heat damage, and part of the reason behind that design philosophy is a lot of very good players like myself, we run the threshold of maxing out our heat bar all the time, and so this might give you a little bit of pause as to running your heat bar at 74 out of 75, wherever your overheat threshold happens to be. Very much a sort of anti-metagame design, but you can see here that we have hit the laser with the nerf bat here and made it a bit heavier. But what we've also done is, well, the ER medium laser. The standard laser has actually gotten a damage decrease. It still weighs 1 ton. But what we have done is we have made the LRM5 weigh only 1.75 tons as standard. And there are Lost Tech versions out there that are even lighter. So, in theory, you can enjoy an LRM20 for just 7 tons. If you have the hard points for it, which the Kintaro does. And this is where the balance comes in. So the Kintaro here can enjoy an LRM20 plus double ammunition for it, reasonably solid armor, this is the standard engine for it, and jump jets, and a backup plan of 3 lasers. And it can do this because it has the missile hardpoints to support lighter, smaller weapons. Now, the larger the weapon is, the less weight efficient it becomes. So if we look at the LRM-10, you will now note that the standard LRM-10 is 4.5 tons, which means that you can get an LRM-20 for 9 tons. And if you look at LRM-15s, you are looking at a saving of about half a ton, or 0.25 of a ton per rack. So they get less weight efficient as they get larger, but they get more hardpoint efficient as they get larger. And this is the balance that you are going to have to deal with when building mechs in XLRP2. You're going to have to decide whether you want to be hardpoint efficient or weight efficient, and that's going to actually matter. Additionally, we know that certain Lost Tech balances have been incredibly overpowered in the past. So you can see this Lost Tech LRM-10 here has just got a plus 0.25 damage bonus. We don't mind giving small amounts of damage bonuses because we know that that's actually still a very powerful bonus. So we've really looked through the Lost Tech stuff. We've been through it all, and we've just really brought it in line. I've got a set of mathematical formulas which I've used to sanity check all of the Lost Tech that I've made, to really bring into line the so that there aren't Lost Tech goodies that are just incredibly OP and will just be I win buttons for you to press. That is not going to happen in XLRP2. There will be, you know, serious weighing up of the benefits of the various systems, because they are going to have these kind of small bonuses, or they're going to have various negatives with various positives which you'll have to weigh up. So the higher level stuff, all of them have got perhaps a nice bonus, but also perhaps a penalty that you might find very annoying. Everything has been redesigned with the fact that we want this game to be balanced. This, you know, video game should be balanced. And frankly, the base game is not balanced, especially since heavy metal. So that's all had to go. The tabletop is not balanced for the video game because it doesn't have hard points, and it was never really that balanced anyway. So some of the biggest changes we've made are to autocannons. Ultras are not straight up better than standards. If you can mount 2 standard autocannons now, then you should. You will actually get a slightly more weight efficient mech if you run 2 AC2s instead of running an Ultra AC2. But that requires 2 hard points. An Ultra AC2 requires just 1 hard point. So that's the balance that we're looking at, that we're looking for. You're going to have to weigh these things up and think to yourself, do I want the hard point efficient thing, or do I want the weight efficient thing? Now, I think the elegance of this design philosophy of changing the weapons in this way is lighter mechs, mediums and lights in particular, often use small weapons and have lots of hard points. So they are going to be able to mount more firepower and more armor based on the fact that they have the hard points available to do so, and they don't have a huge amount of tonnage to spend, so they're going to make the weight savings. When you start getting to heavies and assault mechs, I mean, you know, it's great. You can make weight savings by putting in a load of AC2s into your Annihilator, but you're going to be left with about 50 free tons and no way to use them. So, in this way, we penalize the heavier mechs in terms of tonnage, and we penalize the lighter mechs that don't have hard points, but most of them have obviously got hard points, and we can always add hard points to balance. So we can take bad, like stereotypically bad mechs, like say the Quick Draw, or the Catapult, which hasn't done that well. We can simply give them more hard points, flavorful hard points, and increase their power without actually otherwise changing the design. So if this is one change which I've proposed, obviously mechs are not in yet. If we give the Catapult 4 missile hard points instead of 2, then you can run the smaller LRM launchers, which are more weight efficient. Therefore, we increase the power of the Catapult relative to other mech designs. And most mechs have only got 1 or maybe 2 either ballistic or missile hard points. So that, you know, that has meant that mechs with lots of hard points have been very sought after, or they should be very sought after, but in many cases they haven't been, like the Kintaro here, because they don't have the tonnage to support the hard points, and there was no efficiency to be gained from hard points past a certain point, as if to say, you know, if you've got 10 tons free, then you just fit an LRM 20 and job done, right? And then the fact that you have 3 extra missile hard points, it doesn't matter. Fitting, in most cases, it doesn't matter. Now, you could save a little bit of weight in the base game by fitting an LRM 15 and an LRM 5, but not much. You save like half a ton if you did that. The only way you could save weight in the base game is by fitting all LRM 5s. Then you had the potential to save 2 tons, but the amount of mechs with 4 missile hard points could be counted on one hand. So now there are savings to be made at every level of weapon. If you have 2 missile hard points, it's better for you to fit 2 LRM 10s than a 15 and a 5, or just a 20 and no launcher. But you might want to, you know, if you can make the tonnage for it, you might want to fit bigger launchers. But you're just going to get less efficient when you do that. This way, we bring the heavier equipment more in line with the lower stuff. And part of this philosophy as well is going to fit in with the fact that you'll be able to deploy up to 6 mechs in XLRP2, but you'll be limited to 400 tons. So you can deploy 4 assaults if you wish. You won't be able to deploy anything else, or you can deploy a couple of assaults, some heavies and some lights. We want all the mechs to be relevant throughout the game. And we've also patched, well, I've made sure that various exploits around light mechs, i.e. making them completely invincible by stacking evasion, is not possible in XLRP2. So they will serve a purpose, but the purpose won't be to run in front of the enemy and be indestructible. So anyway, this is just a sneak peek just to show you guys that we are working on it. There's still a lot to do. We still have to custom design all the mechs, but I want to talk about the weapon design philosophy and, you know, just show you guys that it does work. We are working on it. It is real. And we hope that it will be the most respectful of the fact that it is a computer game, and this is the game that it is, right? That we are not playing the tabletop. We are playing this video game. This video game has hard points. This video game has exploits, which I have catalogued over the last year and a half, 2 years. This video game has no-brainer decisions like with LRMs. where you just fit the biggest launchers, or you fit a load of LRM-15s if you've got the hard points for it. You want to make mech design more interesting and also have a level of balance to it. And also just really give weapons purpose. You'll note that I want to have a little look at the ballistics here. I don't know how much I want to show off. Oh, I'm showing off a lot right now. Each weapon has a different purpose. So autocannons are, generally speaking, heavy autocannons are the masters of stability damage. Light autocannons are the masters of long-range DPS. And LBX, the heavier LBX, is the master of short-range DPS, more so than any other weapon. The lighter LBXs are the masters of sort of a combined stab and long-range harassment, sandpapering kind of thing. So they've all got different niches. And of course, ultras are very hardpoint efficient, but not so weight efficient. So if you have a very big mech with few hardpoints, you might want to be looking at an ultra, because you don't have the hardpoints for anything else. So anyway, I hope this interests you guys. I just wanted to sit and sort of talk about where we're going with this and how we are going to be different from other mods. And just one of the key differentiators for us will be the fact that we just have really modernized the weapon design, so everything fits within the context of this video game, and everything fits within the context of us removing various exploits, using hardpoints as a way to balance certain designs, certain mechs. And we are going to have, of course, custom ammunition for various weapons and so on that you can play with. And we will be very much designing each mech, each Op 4 mech, to be the best that it can be. So it will continue to provide you guys with some level of challenge from beginning, middle, and end. There's no junk. I mean, I very firmly believe that, there's no junk weapons, there's just bad strategy. But that's not quite true. The base game really does have some junk weapons and some junk choices. And that hurts the AI. Because if a weapon is bad, and the player is not me, you're not going to use a bad weapon, right? No one deliberately puts bad weapons into their mech unless they are trying to do a challenge run or something. So, by bringing all weapons into line and giving them purpose and making it such that there isn't really any bad picks per se, we increase the strength of the AI quite a lot. Plus, when we're done handcrafting the Op 4 mechs, they will be able to take you by surprise. And of course, we've just removed some of the... I firmly believe in just removing things that are broken. Plus defense gyros are gone. Goodbye. No plus defense gyros in this game, because they're just player advantage handed to you. Really overpowered, and they have no business being here. So anyway, that's my short talk on the weapon design in XLRP2, our design philosophy. I just wanted to sort of sit and talk to you guys about it and sort of show you here that, yeah, it's all working, it's all here. We are creeping towards release. It may be a little bit more time yet. And I hope you guys are excited for it. There's so much more that I want to show off, but it's not ready yet. So that is it for now. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys next time.